Look at these guys. They're dying on the street. All they're doing is robbing and stealing and begging for money. And every cent they get, they give to those sons of bitches right there. In East Harlem, there's a section that's been turned into just what we were calling Zombieland, because it's heroin addicts who have literally taken over the streets in this part of the neighborhood, around like 126th and Park Avenue. And what's changed is since 2021, they passed these laws that decriminalized possession of the gear heroin addicts use. You know, the hypodermic needles, that's 100% okay. And in the process, a bulletin went out within the police department that you don't arrest people shooting up heroin in the streets anymore. You don't do that anymore. So 3 things happened together. Those 2 things, and the last was this organization called On Point was formed, and they opened right at this location, 126th Street and Park Avenue. They opened a facility where not only do they hand out the gear to shoot up heroin, they also facilitate the use. In other words, they give room inside their facility to shoot up heroin and snort heroin or coke or whatever they have. And they give them classes and lessons on the best way to shoot up heroin. That's true. That's on their website. You can go check it out. Frankly, this story, the assignment of sending me up there to do the follow-up, we don't just shed a lot of light on a subject and then walk away. We shed a lot of light on a subject, and then we follow up and see what's being done to change whatever the problem was, or what's not being done. In this particular case, we did a big cover story, full feature, bringing this to light, and then we sent me up there a day or 2 later to see if there was any change. What I saw was enough to show me that nothing was being done, because there were open-air drug sales and people shooting up on the street in front of tons of cops. It wasn't like 1 or 2 cops here or there. There were multiple cops on every block. There were 3 cop cars at every intersection, and no one was arrested. No one was even talked to. The guy who was across the street from the cop I was talking to, the man was shooting up with his pants down around his ankles in full view of everyone, and the officer did not make any arrest or make any move to even walk over and say, dude, pull your pants up. What are you doing? He didn't do anything like that. So this was all to help slow down people dying from heroin. But if you listen to the people who live in this neighborhood, they're all saying the same things. Like, you're not helping these people. You're facilitating their addiction. You're like stoking the fire of their addiction. Like this old guy who lived in the building across the street, and he goes, does this look humane to you? Look at these guys. They're dying on the street. All they're doing is robbing and stealing and begging for money, and every cent they get, they give to those sons of bitches right there who are more than happy to give them what they need to kill themselves. And he's pointing to the guys who were selling drugs. They were selling drugs in his lobby, which was across the street from the On Point place. I was sent up there to see what was being done about it, and I found out what was being done about it. Absolutely nothing. So if you want to be kept in the loop on stories we're doing for the New York Post, go ahead and hit the subscribe button.